Welcome once again to Ourdadsstamps video, and I'd like to welcome Sheila, who's joining us today once more. Hello. Hi. Sheila.
Hi Pete.
And we haven't posted for a while because we've been enjoying an extended summer break, but I thought for the first one back I'd like to share with you something that I bought over the summer. This was a collection of modern day Hong Kong stamps. So let's dive right in. Are you ready to see what I've spent all our money on?
I wasn't aware you had spent any money, but yeah, let's have a look.
Okay. So I had these sent to my daughter's address in the UK, where I was staying for a couple of weeks in the summer. And it was a much bigger package than I expected. So I've already opened it and had a look through, and there were a lot of stock pages full of stamps. So I've combined everything into one album, and this is the album, but everything is in a bit of a jumble. It's not in any particular order. So let's just have a look anyway. The first thing I want to highlight is this group of Chinese New Year stamps are actually specimen stamps, and the Year of the Snake stamps are in a commemorative folder as well. I'm not entirely sure what sort of value the specimen stamps have, but presumably they will be slightly more than the normal set, so it will be something to look at. Year of the Snake was 2001, and I have 4 or 5 sets of specimen stamps from various years. And as I said, I'm not sure of the value of these stamps with the specimen, but it's certainly something to look at. There are a lot of Chinese New Year stamps in amongst this group, as you would expect. And I have mentioned a lot of these before. They are quite nice, and Hong Kong China have experimented with lots of different materials to use on their stamps. Some of them are in gold, some of them are in silver foil, some of them are on silk paper, and there's quite a few of those in here. But the one I'm showing now is, I believe, the first one they did embossed in foil. This one's got gold and silver foil on it. It shows 2 images, the Year of the Snake and the Year of the Dragon, and it represents the Year of the Dragon turning into the Year of the Snake from 2000 to 2001, and it was produced to commemorate the 2001 stamp exhibition in Hong Kong. This, as I said, I believe it's the first one that they did with gold and silver foil, and it has Stanley Gibbons' catalogue value of £70, so hopefully I can get something with it.
So you're planning on selling it?
These stamps I bought with the view to sell it on, yes. I shall break them all down into smaller groups, into smaller sets, and hopefully be able to sell them on.
So where did you buy these stamps? Are they from eBay or from a private sale?
I actually bought these stamps from a company called Ourdadsstamps. It's a stamp dealer that I've used on several occasions. They're a well-reputable stamp dealer. And it may surprise people to know that I actually bought them without seeing a single image of what the stamps looked like. I solely went on the description, which said they are Hong Kong stamps from 1997 to 2017, with a catalogue value of about £2,500, and they were for sale at round about 1/10 of that value, so I thought it was worth a look. So the next lot here is, these are the Year of the Snake, printed in 24 karat gold and also on silk paper. There are several groups in this collection where you have several different mini sheets of the same year. Each of these are worth round about £50 by Stanley Gibbons' catalogue, so it's not a bad return.
So these stamps were printed on silk with gold foil?
No, there's 2 different types. There is one mini sheet printed on silk paper, and there is another mini sheet which has a stamp with 24 karat gold plated image on the top of the stamp.
So these aren't created for people to use as postage stamps?
Not really, no. They are created
Collector's pieces,
for collector's pieces. I would imagine if you try to send that through the post, there's a fair chance it wouldn't actually get there.
So
the stamp wouldn't get there.
In theory, I guess they've produced the same stamp, but not on silk paper and minus the 24 karat gold.
Yeah, for all the recent Chinese New Year stamps, they generally produce a complete set, which tends to be 4 stamps. They produce a mini sheet, which has the 4 stamps of them on one sheet. They then produce a mini sheet, which has the 24 karat gold stamp. They also produce a mini sheet with silk paper. So there's quite a lot you can buy for one New Year. They are quite nice looking stamps, so I do like the look of them, but they can be quite expensive for the collector.
I mean, that's quite something to put all that beautiful work into these mini sheets. So are there a lot of people in China collecting stamps, to your knowledge? Do you send a lot of stamps out there?
I do send a fair few to China and Hong Kong, yeah. And certainly Hong Kong seems to have taken on board new ideas with stamp printing. And there's a lot of things, as we shall see looking through this collection, there's a lot of new ideas and a lot of unusual stamps. So, yeah, I quite like the stamps from Hong Kong. And it's one of the reasons I decided to buy this set. It's they're interesting, shall we say, and very nice looking. So moving on, the next one to look at it's a mini sheet, or actually it's not a mini sheet, it's a complete sheet of 12 different New Year stamps. It shows all 12 animals in the Chinese calendar on one sheet. Each stamp has a value of $1.40 and can be used postally, but obviously the whole sheet in one makes a much better image and looks quite nice. And you can easily see what all the animals are, which is quite useful for us Westerners who are not wholly familiar with the Chinese New Year animals. Throughout this collection, there aren't too many stamps that are of a really high value, but what there is lots and lots of stamps that are good value stamps, and that the collection as a whole is in really nice condition. The mint stamps are generally mint, never been hinged, and are in almost perfect condition. So that all adds to the value and all adds to the appeal of this collection. A couple more things about the Chinese New Year. Another one they produced was a sheet of foil embossed stamps that actually show up in different colours. And they show the year of the dragon, the year of the snake, the year of the horse and the year of the ram. I've actually got a complete sheet which shows those 4 stamps in a sheet of 16. Looking at, again, Stanley Gibbons, the catalogue value for a block of 4 is £27. So multiplying that up, that sheet I've got should be worth at least £100, which is quite nice to know.
But do they not give the price for a full sheet?
In Stanley Gibbons' catalogue, no, they don't give the price for a full sheet because not many people save sheets, and certainly with the older stamps it's almost impossible to get hold of full sheets. So presumably to save space they haven't quoted price for the whole sheet. You could sort of estimate it by multiplying the number of stamps in the sheet by the value of each stamp, but the fact that they're in a complete sheet will add to that value. The last one, with regards to the Chinese New Year, they produced a load of stamps which they called heartwarming stamps. Now, these weren't only limited to the Chinese New Year, but they did do it for many of the New Year stamps. And I've got 8 different sheets of these. Each sheet contains 12 stamps and 12 labels. And the labels are actually quite interesting. I honestly don't know the value of these stamps at all. I can't find them. My catalogue only goes up to 2015, and these are actually were produced later than that. But they are interesting in that on the labels, it was possible for you to personalise them. You could apply to Hong Kong Post to buy a sheet of these stamps and have your own photo put in the labels or your own logo put in the labels. And I had a look and it cost about $60, and I'm not quite sure how that works out in pounds. But for 60 Hong Kong dollars, you could buy a complete set of stamps for sending local mail, and attached to each stamp is a label that you could put your photo on, or the photo of your children, or however you wanted. Which I should imagine, if you're sending that as a New Year card to the grandparents, I would imagine that was quite a popular thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely idea.
Yes, yeah, and as I said, they haven't just limited it to the Chinese New Year. There are some other ones I've noticed throughout the years where it's a similar idea. The stamps don't have any value on them. They are just printed with local mail or airmail, and at two different prices. And you then put your picture or your logo or any image you want on a fixed label and send it off. So, yes, it's quite a nice idea. As you can see with these, most of the sets contain the whole set mint as well as a mini sheet mint. So I've got quite an extensive collection of all the stamps produced in that era. There's also ones like this set of buildings and bridges where I've got the complete set. On this particular one, I've got the complete set used and almost all of them mint. And it's always nice to have complete sets, so it makes them easier to sell. Another one where I've got the complete set is the 2002 definitive set, which depicted cultural diversity. I don't particularly like the look of this set actually, but once again I have the complete set used. But one interesting one is they produced a mini sheet of the high value stamps, $10, $13, $20 and $50 stamp. And that mini sheet is valued at £45. So again, it's a nice bonus to have things like that in the collection that I wasn't expecting. Another interesting one that I was going to share with you is they did a series on working dogs in 2012. And dogs are popular as thematic collections, as well as for people that are collecting Hong Kong stamps. So I should imagine these will be quite popular when I try to sell them on. But the interesting thing with this set, once again, I've got the whole set mint. I've got mini sheet mint. But there was also, they produced a book detailing the work of, with the 15 pages of text about the work the dogs do and images of the different dogs. And within that booklet was 3 panes of the stamps. So you've got the whole page. They're almost like 3 mini sheets inside the booklet. And it would appear that I've got those 3 mini sheets, although I don't have the actual booklet. So once again, I don't really know what the value of these will be. The booklet cost $45. But as I said, they've only taken out the 3 pages. So we'll have to see what they're worth and what people are willing to pay for them. They do look nice. I like mini sheets, so hopefully they will go well. On some of these stamps, not only have I got a complete set mint and the mini sheet mint, but I've also got the self-adhesive stamps in a complete set. As I've already said, there's an extensive collection here, and it covers virtually everything from round about 2010 to 2017. This next one's quite interesting. It's of dinosaurs. And I stopped to look at this one because I know my grandsons will be interested in the dinosaur stamps. And once again, I've got the complete set mint with margins and the mini sheet. But the interesting thing, when I looked at details of the mini sheet, is that it actually glows in the dark, which is quite amazing. The fact that they've thought to put that on stamps to make them more attractive, I think is a brilliant idea. And it's something that can only help promote stamp collecting.
Yeah, if you think you've got a poster on the wall or something and you're collecting the stamps to go on the poster and it glows in the dark in a child's bedroom, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, yes, I think, I would have certainly wanted to collect one of those in my childhood just for having the glow in the dark effect.
There's quite a lot of technology involved here. We've talked about stamps that have been printed on silk. This is glow in the dark, 24 karat gold plate on them. I mean, that's pretty up there, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is. And as I said, Hong Kong, China seem to have really gone to town on new ideas and innovative ways of attracting stamp collectors, which is something to be applauded, and hopefully other countries will do the same sort of thing. This next set on the buses is another example as well. I quite like old vehicles, so this appealed to me looking at the collection because it's buses going back over time of all the different buses in Hong Kong, and it's got a mini sheet, the whole set used as well in this case. But the $20 mini sheet is actually one of those pictures where if you look at it at different angles, it shows a different image. So you can hold this stamp and look at a modern day bus and then tilt it slightly and you're looking back at an old bus, and then tilt it again and it's a different era bus.
On the same stamp?
On the same stamp.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, they're sort of known as holographic images, but the technical name is lenticular printing. And there's actually, after I found this one, there's quite a few that they've produced with the same effect. So you can collect one stamp and see several different images on that one stamp. They are quite thick, so once again, I can't imagine they'd make it through the postage system somehow or another. They'd probably get damaged or fall off or get knocked off or get taken off. But as a collectible, it's certainly something different. And once again, Hong Kong has done well to produce something different. These are quite interesting as well, the communication stamps, because on close inspection I realised that these stamps have got braille on them as well. I'm not sure how many stamps have braille, how useful they are, but certainly, presumably the braille reads the message that's on these stamps, which is all about inclusiveness and communication and respect and equality. So another innovative idea and another nice example of something different. This next set I stopped at just because I really like the look of them. These are produced in 2018. So, as I've said before, I don't have a catalogue to be able to value them at all. But it's of the Cantonese opera repertory. And they are different scenes from operas. And I just think they look really nice and something a bit different. It's a whole sheet. There's 6 stamps in a set, and the sheet contains 2 sets. So there's 12 stamps there of different values, which should be worth something. And another lot I've got is the 2014 definitives, which show the global geopark of China. It's basically different rock formations in China. I've got the complete set mint. I've got a big collection used. I've got an ordinary mini sheet and a high value mini sheet. And the high value mini sheet of this set is catalogued at £65. So once again, it's good value stuff. And the final one I want to talk about is traditional costumes. Once again, I have a complete sheet, and this is Apparently it's called the Kipao dress, but it's also known as the Cheong Sam or the Sangsei or even the Mandarin gown. And it shows them all from 1920 up to 1970. And although I'm not into fashion, I thought this was quite a nice looking set of stamps. And the fact that I've got the whole sheet showing 2 sets of these stamps makes it look quite nice. Yeah, I don't know, as a fashion expert, do they look good to you?
I think they're absolutely stunning. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, very pretty.
Yes, so there's a lot here in this collection. There's a lot for me to get into. What I'm going to do now is to sort them out into some form of chronological order, sort them out into groups that I think may be saleable, and see if I can get my money back on what I've spent. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again in a few weeks' time. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I hope you found it interesting and enjoyable. Don't forget you can visit my online stores at eBay and Delcamp under the name of Ourdadsstamps, where I have over 2,000 items for sale. Please join us again in 2 weeks' time for another edition of Ourdadsstamps podcast.